Welcome one, welcome all. It is a chilly evening in Kenosha. Hope everybody had a good Groundhog's Day yesterday. Our friend Puxatawny Phil, he saw his shadow. A few more weeks of winter, but things are going to heat up inside for the Carthage College Firebirds as they welcome the North Central Cardinals. Alongside Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. We'll momentarily go to Amri Wilder, our sideline reporter. But for now, Eric, the tale of two teams, North Central 2-9 in conference play, 6-14 overall. Not necessarily where they want to be this season. The Firebirds 8-3, 14-6 overall, top of the conference.
Well, that's exactly what you have here. You have the bottom team of the conference going against. But if you look closer into those two wins that North Central has, one of them against Illinois Wesleyan, so they've already slayed one of the giants of the CCIW. They're looking to get their second one tonight.
Let's look now at the CCIW men's standings. Eric, as we see on the top, Illinois Wesleyan, Carthage, the 1 and 2. Top 6 teams make the postseason. So North Central, there's still a few games left to get to where they need to go. They need it tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And Carthage, with every game being important, especially when they're trying to jockey for that home court advantage when you get to the CCIW tournament. But when you look at Elmhurst and Wheaton, they're just a game back in the loss column. So we know that this CCIW conference is tough top to bottom, especially in that middle pack where they're looking to separate themselves and see if they can get to the top, or also try to make sure they're into that postseason tournament as well.
That they are, and again, we are excited to go through momentarily the starting lineups for both of these squads. And as we are going to momentarily as well set up, we're thankful you're with us on the Marquee Sports Network. We're going to have our players to watch momentarily, but Eric, the home court advantage at Tarble Arena is second to none.
Exactly, and Carthage had a really tough game here in the CCIW tournament last year. It was a back and forth affair, high scoring game, so we know North Central comfortable playing here at Tarble, but Carthage has been tough at home. They're 7-2 and looking to grab that 8th win. Also, I mean, just kind of take a look at, I mean, on paper, you think this game would be, you know, a big difference, because Carthage coming in tonight scores 7 more points per game on offense and gives up 7 points per game less on defense than North Central. So those margins favoring the Firebirds. But as I said already, North Central's got some experience taking down the best.
Well, now we're going to turn it over to one of our friends, sideline reporter Amri Wilder, joining us for the first time this season. Welcome to the Marquee Sports Network. Amri has our players to watch. Amri, take it away.
Hi guys. Yes, for Carthage we have Ricky Brooks. He's the top scorer and he's really someone to watch out for. And as far as North Central, we have Alejandro Diaz. He's one of their leading scorers, but the whole team scores equally, but he's the one that's been very consistent. Last game he had 15 points, so we're really looking to see what he has to offer this game. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much for that, Amri. Again, as we set up here, left to right are going to be the home Firebirds. Birds in the home whites with red numbers and letters, black trim. North Central in the visiting maroons, white numbers, letters, black trim. Johnson at the tip-off line, and we are underway in Kenosha. Starting lineups first for the Carthage College Firebirds this Wednesday afternoon in Kenosha. Last time these two teams met, just a few weeks ago, 69-61 was your final. And as for today, quick bucket already for North Central. They had a huge lead against Milliken, Eric, in their last contest, and they just kind of let it go away, so not surprised, early points.
Exactly, and North Central getting out ahead, as we saw our player to watch for the Cardinals, Alejandro Diaz, getting a soft touch off the roll. And you mentioned last time these two teams played, a different type of Carthage game, only scoring 69 points, but that's mostly due to North Central and their physical play. Anytime North Central comes here, it's going to be a tough physical matchup.
At the top of the key goes North Central, swinging out to the left, trying to set up their domain. Looking for the screen at the top, a 2-3 zone by the Birds. The Johnson brothers both in the starting lineup. For Carthage off the leg, they're going to say it actually deflected for North Central. Griffin Dawn also in the starting lineup, as well as Antoine Nesbitt getting the start today. So we spoke about it a little bit briefly, but Coach Steve Jarakovic really able to tinker with what he likes to do with that starting lineup, especially that 2 position. So whether it's a Antoine Nesbitt and A.J. Johnson, Griffin Dawn, why not add the points? He's that do-it-all, that Swiss Army knife for the Birds, able to come out with a great bucket there. To finish the starters now for North Central, Trey Davis, number 11. Joining him, number 23, Sean Malloy. 44, Justin Svateris, the 6'7 sophomore out of Downers Grove South, as well as number 30, Alejandro Diaz, a sophomore from Bensonville. Kicking out to the top is 22, James Bullock Jr., the sophomore out of Marion Catholic, tied at 2.
And A.J. Johnson almost able to go coast to coast there, just coming up a little short. Good take, just couldn't finish.
Looking for 3, no go of it. Johnson, the younger, coming away with the rebound. The defending CCIW Player of the Year has Carthage tied for the conference lead. They are the regular season champion last year, lost here at home to Illinois Wesleyan in the conference championship game. So right now things are, we'll just say, projecting to be that 1v2 again, but that's not unless North Central has something to say about it. And it looks like Carthage going to go to the line for 2. And again, Griffin Dawn, not that player you necessarily need or expect to bring offense, but when he does, it's just another added element. If you're the defenders in North Central, the Cardinals, you can't guard everybody.
Exactly, and Griffin Dawn has been that player who has really found his spots. I mean, if you watch him throughout his career, really he's not the one that's going to create off the dribble or do too much off of that, but he's a player who can get to a spot, his teammates find him. He also creates his own offense simply by getting offensive rebounds and putbacks, and he is one of the best shooters actually in the CCIW, and third coming into tonight, third in the CCIW in field goal percentage. So as we said, does a little bit of everything really well.
It's like you, Eric. You just
I try.
Man, you got what? No matter what sport it is, you know, teaching the youth of the world with all your free time, coaching.
I think there's something to be said. Is it's not bad to be a Griffin Dawn type of person.
No, not at all.
Anything thrown your way, you can rebound, you can score. Also known to steal the basketball as well. So just really a all-around fantastic player.
Nesbitt now, 15 on the shot clock. In the paint, the kick out, open for 3. Big Johnson nails trifecta. 7-2, hot start for the Birds after the first bucket of the evening, scored by the Cardinals.
Yeah, Antoine Nesbitt attracting the double team, and Ryan Johnson able to connect on his 3. As you see, Bullock right back for the Cardinals.
Turnaround jumper, good. Birds back to within 3. Again, we're live on the Marquee Sports Network, the only Division III school on the home of the Cubs, and an illustrious lineup of sports. Thankful we're part of this team for the second season in a row, and an offensive foul called. And I believe that's going to be against Brooks. So thought he might have broken ankle, but there was some contact as well. So subbing in now is going to be number 20, Tyler Swierczek.
Swierczek, a dangerous piece off the bench. Last season was first in the CCIW in three-point shooting percentage, 4th in makes. Not shooting as well as he did last year, but you got to believe Coach Jurkovic and his team are going to make sure they get a hand on him out at behind the three-point arc.
Looking for the screen at the top, nowhere to go. Staunch defense yet again for the Birds, against the Birds. It's a battle of the Birds this Wednesday evening. Fade away, foot behind the free throw line. Another good bucket for Bullock Jr. He's 4 out of the 6 points right now for North Central's come away at Bullock, and they are clean shots.
Did not shoot well against Illinois Wesleyan, only 1 of 10 from the floor. But here you can see he's got basketball, trying to get some buckets on his mind after, like I said, not shooting so well last game out.
Off to the right, Nesbitt, open, bang! Trifecta for Antoine. Missed his entire last season, granted another year of eligibility. Here now, a staunch part of this offense. We talk about a shorter bench for the Carthage College Firebirds, but again, able to play the matchup game. You could say a little bit differently than in years past, with a plethora of guards, the 1 through 4 that they're able to deploy, as well as, of course, some of the great transfers that they brought in. Chris Lessinger. And another one Why not? Griffin Dawn has matched the entire output for the Cardinals, 5-10 into the game.
And that right there, you can see why he's third in the conference in shooting. He gets those looks right down by the block. His teammates find him. All he has to do is take a step and lay it in.
Nice job silencing the crowd a bit. Trey Davis out of South Holland, Illinois.
And his minutes have been ticking up of late. He played the most minutes in a game this season, last time out against Illinois Wesleyan. So Coach Vince Kamek turned into him a little bit more here at the end of the season.
Nesbitt with the pump fake, decides to hold on. Floats it into Johnson. Johnson backing in. Swierczek, the defender. Not much length. Griffin Dawn down low. The up, the under. Ooh, and just misses. The opportunity was there. The defense slid over to take Johnson and couldn't quite get it down.
Exactly. Ryan Johnson always has to keep his head on a swivel because they throw a ton of defenders at him. It's just his job to find the open man.
Riley Brooks able to come away with the rebound.
And one thing that's been nice about having Nesbitt back this season, it's really relieved some of the ball handling pressure from A.J. Johnson, where he can turn to more of being a scoring threat than a distributor. And Nesbitt, like I said, a great ball handler, quick, and takes some of that time and effort out of A.J. Johnson's legs.
Look for the screen at the top by Alejandro Diaz, the sophomore, not able to find the bucket. Currently, Carthage shooting 50% from the field, 2 for 3 from 3. Brooks hasn't needed to be the offense. And just as I'm finishing the sentence, a sweet as silk finger roll. 14-8 your score. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, continuation of half number 1, live on the Marquee Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. Birds up on the Birds, 14-8. Your score, 13:04 remaining in the first half. For Eric Elger and Amri Wilder, our sideline reporter, I'm Peter Ferreri. Again, North Central got the first point, but it has been all Carthage since. North Central been able to scatter in some baskets, but Griffin Dawn, 6 points, 2 for 3 from the field, and 2 free throws as well. Again, the Carthage College Firebirds, they spread your defense so thin. Brooks, besides that finger roll layup, he hadn't even taken a shot. He didn't need to take a shot up until that point. So just shows the diversity of the offense for the Birds. Now, of course, the challenge is how can you get Ryan Johnson into a precarious situation? Foul trouble, out of his element. A.J. Johnson has come into the game as well as one Chris Schlesinger. And Carthage comes away with the possession. And the reason I say that, Eric, is the only times this year we've seen, I don't even want to say Carthage struggle, but not be at their peak, is when Ryan Johnson, foul trouble, out of his element, shots not falling. Easier said than done to do that, one of the best in the nation.
Well, you talk about a fulcrum of an offense, and Ryan Johnson exactly that. I mean, they get the ball to him in the middle of the court, and they let him either go to work or find that open man. And tonight, he's been able to find those cutters on the wings.
Brooks off the fingertips. Nothing but the bottom of the net for number 11. 17-8, Carthage leads.
How about that for a quick release? He got the ball and immediately put it up, and Riley Brooks, one of the best three-point shooters in the country, and if not the CCIW for sure, knocks it down there.
Off the screen, front of the rim, no good, tipped up. Not sure if that would have fallen into a Cardinals set of hands anyways, but nonetheless, 15 resets for North Central. In the contest, Jaden James out of Texas, the senior, tried to flick it back in, and not much. I mean, the effort is there for Carthage. That possession, you just kind of felt it was going to go North Central's way, and it did.
Well, I think Schlesinger just got a little too excited to try to push the ball up the court because they had secured it, but then just trying to push it too fast.
Ethan, I was just going to mention Ethan Marlowe in the contest, the 6'8 junior transfer from Northwest Missouri State. Ryan Johnson had him past the three-point line, and that quick first step of Johnson took him all the way to the hoop, easy layup.
And that's exactly why Ryan Johnson can be a matchup nightmare, because he gets those big guys out behind the three-point line and they can blow right by him.
19-10, your score. Timeout on the court. Guess what we'll do? We'll take it with them. Carthage with a 9-point lead, almost halfway through half number one. We'll be back on Marquee. $19-10 your score on the Marquee Sports Network. Right now, North Central 5 for 13 from the field, 0 for 4 from three. But they're going to go to the charity stripe and hopefully get that little bit of momentum, because if those shots aren't falling early on from long range, all right, well, how do you navigate yourself back into a comfortable situation? And that's going to the line.
This is the only shooting percentage type of category that North Central has over Carthage. They're actually a better free throw shooting team. It's just when you get to the field goal and three-point shooting, that's where Carthage has a well ahead of North Central this season.
And buckets good from the free throw line. Jaden James, only his 8th appearance this year. 3 for 6 from the free throw line.
You can see North Central there trying to put a little pressure on defense, full court press.
Nice block. I said we needed to see an impact player, Ethan Marlowe. That's a great impact play if you asked me.
He's 3rd in the CCIW in block shots, so definitely has the height that you want from that big man in center. Just right now he doesn't have to guard Ryan Johnson, so he can really kind of stay in the paint a little bit more with, as I said, Johnson on the bench.
Antoine Nesbitt now picks up the pieces. 10 remaining in half number 1. Quick start for Carthage. North Central trying to navigate back. Brooks, the fadeaway, good. And if Brooks heats up, watch out, because even when he's not hot, he feels he's hot. And so he'll take the shots anyway. But when they're falling at a high clip, it's a challenge nonetheless. Also in the game now, number 20, Jabe Haith. Again, one of those bench players so crucial this year to the success of Carthage. He allows for Schlesinger, the transfer, to slide to that 5 position as we see him matched up with Marlowe. Marlowe, the up, the under, and good. And that's, not to say we predicted it, the Marlowe impact today is going to be crucial should North Central want to find victory, merely because he has that height advantage anytime Ryan Johnson's on the bench.
Exactly, and he's getting a little revenge right back there. Is he going to back me down? Fine, I'll take you out behind the 3-point arc. And Chris Schlesinger is really coming into his own as the season progressed. Had a 10 rebounds last game to go along with 5 points. So a big contributor for the Firebirds. And there you can see that 3-pointer.
Yeah, Jaden James now going to go to the line yet again. And I think that's pivotal to speak of. Again, he has not had the offensive year like some of his teammates. Again, he has only played 44 minutes, but again, only 7 games, so easing in to his role, and no time better than the now for James, as he already has a 2 from the free throw line, and now an opportunity for an and 1.
You can see it gives them something a little different on offense, in that some of the, like a lot of the jump shots have been what North Central's relied on, and Jaden James getting in there and taking it to the paint and getting to the free throw line. And here you finally get a Johnson brother back on the floor. I was going to say that last lineup, I don't think we've seen many lineups without AJ or Ryan on the court.
No, you are correct. Oh, look at the crisp passing. Johnson looked like he was even touched a bit on the hair follicles. No foul. Johnson 7 points, 26-17 Carthage. North Central returns the favor, and again, we said it earlier, Bullock Jr., he is the impact offensive player so far for North Central.
Second on the team scoring coming into tonight, but you can see he's got that mid-range game in there. He's able to put on the deck, get to the hoop.
Ryan Johnson caught no man's land underneath the basket, tried to force it to Haith. Unsuccessful. Schlesinger, thought it was a clean block. That will not be the case. Something to note as well, A.J. Williams, who rotates in and out of the starting lineup. To note, he is a righty, but his left hand and thumb wrist taped. So again, when you're usually the one, which he is in this circumstance, that can affect the handles a bit. But nonetheless, block, foul called. So shooting 2 now is for Bullock Jr., who has been hot this evening in Kenosha. And those are the type of shots that fall when you're on a hot streak. The 78% free throw shooter able to deliver the 7th point of the evening for Bullock.
I think what you've seen North Central do here in the last few minutes offensively is really be aggressive, and it seems like Coach Kamek has really instilled into his team and said, hey, we can't just settle for jump shots. We have to get our high percentage looks and try to get to the basket, and you've seen him get to the free throw line a couple times now.
Ryan Johnson kick it out to Haith. A lot of movement on the outside. 1-3-1 zone defense for North Central. Griffin Dawn, defense standing tall, best defensive sequence for North Central. Nesbitt works his way in. And that's what happens when you have that 1-3 zone. If you're able to get through that second line of defense, if the last line, if that final one can't slide over in time, layup for Nesbitt. I'm not going to say easy layup because that was 25-plus seconds of crisp passing that got him to that point.
And I think that just came down to a senior going right at a freshman, Seth Cheney. Nesbitt using his body. You got a little arm bar in there to get the space, but just went to work.
Bullock, hand in his face. Oh, what a rebound by Jaden James, the 6'3 sophomore, just out-jumping multiple white jerseys. And another and one opportunity, Ethan Marlowe.
Ethan Marlowe going right at Griffin Dunn, and Marlowe has been a big presence there down in the paint. See how often North Central continues to look towards his way.
28-23, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, Amri Wilder with the half one report right here on the Marquee Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. Back, Amri Wilder for the sideline report. Amri? Go ahead, Amri. Amri, go ahead. All right, technical difficulties. Thank you for being patient with us. Shot up and good.
And here we got Nesbitt taking up the court after North Central another time knocking down a free throw, and a quick turnover there for the Firebirds. So this game kind of in the balance right now. After Carthage racing to a 19-10 lead, North Central's been able to scratch and claw their way back, and it's been a lot of getting downhill for the Cardinals. See if Carthage can step up and try to stay tough man defense. And there again, going right to the rim. You see their leading scorer, Alejandro Diaz. And now this is just a 2-point game.
Yeah, just bit by bit right now. They're finding a way to come back. Shot up, good. Jabe Haith, again, we talk about the players.
And Haith has been one of those players that you said, like, just the confidence has grown, and that's a shot that he shot with such confidence, was just able to knock it down exactly what the Firebirds needed. But Bullock Jr. right back. And here you can see North Central, it seems like they backed off that full court pressure a little bit after Carthage was able to really pick it apart with ease.
And Antoine Nesbitt, I mean, that's just athleticism to be able to slide down with contact. 30-28 your score. But again, we talked about at length now the different players. Schlesinger, Haith getting in on the offense, Dawn getting in on the offense. You have players currently speaking of A.J. Johnson. He doesn't have a bucket. Williams doesn't have a bucket. It's the diversity of what Carthage is able to do offensively. But what has brought them back? We said this a few minutes ago. North Central still 0 for 5 from 3. But getting to the line, being aggressive, able to find their way to the free throw line, and that's how you chip back a team that starts out so hot like Carthage did.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those attempts were in the first few minutes. And the other thing you've seen North Central be able to do is defensively, Carthage was having a lot of success of going to the middle of the court with like Ryan Johnson, and he was able to pass. We had 2 threes in the first few minutes on the right side of the three-point line, and then we saw those cuts from players like Griffin Dawn and Riley Brooks from the left corner, and those opportunities really dried up so far here in the last few minutes.
3-point lead now. Off to the right wing goes North Central. A 3-pointer can tie it. A 2-pointer by Bullock brings him within 1. 12 points for Bullock Jr. What an offensive output he has had, and it's not just that he's making the points. He's 5 for 9 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
And they have really heated up, and you can see Bullock Jr., he loves that mid-range jumper game, and came around the screen, just knocks it in.
Missed by Carthage. North Central a chance to take the lead. Driving baseline, nowhere to go, Trey Davis. Backing in is Johnson. Bullock v. Johnson, your key matchup. Bullock for 3, just misses Nesbitt. And again, if it wasn't for the 3-point inefficiencies, Brooks, the spin, A.J. Johnson, the phenomenal one. 3-pointer for the Birds.
You said it, you just taken a 1 shot so far this game. There he gets on the board with the 3, and that defensive possession, I think Bullock, you're going to live with him trying to shoot from behind the arc. Not a great 3-point shooter as Ryan Johnson takes it away there right around the rim.
Schlesinger to the right side. Can A.J. Johnson get another one? Misses off to the left. And Bullock attempts to shortly run it down, doesn't need to track it. 34-30. Timeout on the court. We'll be back in a flash. 4-point lead for Carthage. Can they hold on? 3:59 to go until half on the CCIW network, part of Marquee. Now with Amri Wilder on the sideline. Amri, what do you have?
Yes, guys, as you can see, this is a close game, and Carthage is at the top of the conference. North Central has been struggling a little bit, but that doesn't mean Carthage can take any plays off. Last time out in January, this was a close contest, only decided by 8 points with Carthage coming up on top. So it's really going to be interesting to see how Carthage can hang on. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Amri. Again, we're at that point in the season, Eric. It's second time around for a lot of these matchups. You hit the film room, you hit the weight room, you see what differences you have to make. And right now, Bullock Jr. says, I'll be the difference maker.
I mean, he's taken 12 of the team's 24 shots. So, I mean, there's no question where they're going through. Bullock, half the team's attempts, and he's been converting them 6 of 12. Exactly what you need for the Cardinals.
Nesbitt, can he find the three-pointer? Fading away a bit, can't get it to fall. 2-point lead for Carthage, battle of the birds on Marquis. Looking for a screen near side, able to do so is Trey Davis. Floats it up, back iron, no good. Johnson comes with a block from behind against Sveteris. Looking at the top now, James, the fadeaway, lefty, gets it to go. Timeout called by head coach Steve Jarakovic. We'll keep it here. And Eric, for those that are interested in maybe having their collegiate career at Carthage, what do our friends have to do to apply?
Take the next step in your educational journey with Carthage College. The admissions process is simple. Whether you're an undergraduate, transfer, graduate, or international student, visit carthage.edu/apply for details or contact our admissions team at 800-351-4058 or at admissions@carthage.edu. We look forward to welcoming you to the Firebird family.
We're tied up. It was an early lead for Carthage. North Central looked flat early on, but again, they found their way to score. Getting in low, mid-range jumpers. Not to say they're bailing on the three, but they know when they have certain people in the lineup. Bullock on absolute fire right now, and getting aided by Jaden James. That's a lineup, and again, North Central, they're on the cusp. They need a win, and they need it now in order to get back in that hunt to get that final seed for the CCIW postseason. Carthage right now still on pace for the number one. Can't slip up here in Kenosha, and Antoine Nesbitt. Great footwork underneath the hoop in the paint.
Exactly what Carthage needed, just a strong take to the basket. It was really in Nesbitt's hands the entire time there, just creates his own offense and gets him back on top.
Ryan Johnson coming away with the rebound, poked away, no foul. Nesbitt now 2:05 to go until halftime. Ryan Johnson goes up for the layup all the way through. Sveteris not able to slow him down. 4-point lead once again for Carthage.
Carthage trying to do that work in the paint and going right at North Central down low. How about Trey Davis?
Yeah, why not?
A little crossover jumper. I mean, it seems like North Central tonight, as long as they're not taking a three, really shooting the ball well, just 0 of 6 from the three-point line, but 14 of 23 anywhere else on the floor.
Nesbitt looks for the screen, decides to pull the trigger on the three ball, left iron, no good. Steve Jarakovic not necessarily pleased with the quick trigger. Chance for North Central to tie it. 70 seconds until halftime. Haith, the steal, the layup, extending the lead to 4, 40-36 now, and the defense standing tall for Carthage along the perimeter.
It almost feels like Haith gets one of those per game where he steals it and he's off to the races on the other end, and a nice job there of jumping the passing lane and getting an easy bucket for the Firebirds.
Off the screen, turnaround jumper, drops in and good. Offense for Sean Malloy out of Lane Tech on the north side of Chicago. 35 seconds until halftime. About a 5-second differential between the clocks. So Antoine Nesbitt can take it down quite far to not leave much left for North Central. Ryan Johnson holding it at the top on the court. Brooks, A.J. Williams, Jabe Haith, Antoine Nesbitt, the offensive output. Less than 10 to go. Does Johnson keep it himself? And a foul called.
They're trying to deny. They knew Riley Brooks was coming around some screens there, and North Central just trying to get in his way. And not a terrible foul, only their fourth of the half. So if you're Carthage now, you can get the last shot, but North Central, as I said, not a terrible foul. You can still play good defense here and get into the half.
Yeah, now you're going to reset up the exact same offense. Nesbitt tries to shrug off Bullock. Fade away to the right. Back iron, no good. Shot hasn't been there for Nesbitt the past few attempts. From the right hip. Ooh, hard off the front rim. North Central almost able to take the lead going into halftime. 40-38 your score. Head coach Steve Jarakovic will join Amri Wilder shortly on the sideline. But for now, Eric, thoughts on half number one?
Well, I think North Central did exactly what they needed to do to stay in this game, and they have been so effective of getting into the paint, and you see those little turnaround fadeaway jumper types, and they've just been knocking them down. So I think if you're Carthage defensively, you got to try to just deny the entry into that area and see if you can slow down this mid-range, low-post North Central game that they got going so far tonight.
40-38 your score. We'll be joined momentarily now by head coach Steve Jarakovic and Amri Wilder. Amri, take it away.
Hey, Coach. So, really close game. A.J. Johnson, your second leading scorer, arguably the best shooter on your team. How do you get him going in the second half?
Try to find some shots for him. Got to be a little bit more aggressive. Our best offense is typically when we get in transition, make early reads and actions. When he got his three in the corner was because of that. But right now we're allowing them to dictate the tempo and the pace of this game, and we got to change that in the second half.
And defensively, what are you telling your team? What changes are you making in the locker room right now?
Be more physical, fight over ball screens better. They are taking some very difficult shots. They're taking tough twos. Usually we give up tough twos, but we got to do a better job making it more difficult for them and just be more active. They're good on the offensive boards. It's the best part of their game. We got to be the tougher team in the second half.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
All right. Thank you for that, Amri. We'll take a timeout with them. 40-38 your score. We will be back for the halftime report on Marquee Sports Network.
Greatness begins with a single spark, a spark of passion deep inside of you, a spark that propels you into the next chapter of your life. But a spark needs kindling, fuel to truly ignite your potential. Carthage College is the place to discover your purpose, unlock your potential, and express your originality. Here, you are not just another number. You're an individual. At Carthage, we provide each student with specialized attention. Whether you're an extroverted leader, or the quiet difference maker, or someone in between, you deserve the opportunity to thrive. Carthage is here to provide the fuel you need to shine brightly. A welcoming community.
Welcome to Carthage!
Inspiring mentors. An energizing environment, and a solid foundation for any career you imagine. Carthage is here to help you become the best version of yourself. Are you ready to take the next step? Shine brightly at Carthage College.
as Pete Ferreri alongside Eric Elger and Amri Wilder on the sideline. She'll catch up in just a bit with Coach Vince Kamick in a few minutes. But looking now at some of the statistics that brought us this way, Eric. 16 for 31 is North Central, 0 for 6 from the field, or 0 for 6 from 3, I should say. And it's brought to you, of course, by the Pullman Auto Stores. But North Central, minus not shooting well from three-point land, out rebounding, finding their way, low turnover ratio, and they're getting their shots from the free throw line, and it's a close battle.
Exactly. I mean, you take a look at some of Carthage. I mean, they're shooting 62% from the field, and when you look at that, I mean, you would assume Carthage, I mean, that's the type of shooting percentage there. You really are going to be extending a lead, getting way ahead of a team, but North Central, as you said, right there every step of the way. It's just been the three-point difference that really I think is the only thing that is keeping Carthage ahead in this game. But really, North Central, as Coach Jurkovic said, defensively, they'll live with those tough twos. I mean, that's what you kind of want to force a team into, but they've just been knocking them down. So see if that hot shooting from North Central continues here in the second half, or let's see if Coach Jurkovic and the Firebirds maybe make some adjustments and try to push them to different spots of the floor when North Central's on offense.
Individually speaking, Carthage, Ryan Johnson, 10 points, 4 from 6 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, 2 rebounds and assists, and 2 blocks. As for North, and we look here now, Eric, at the scoring leaders for the Carthage College Firebirds, and of course, besides what Ryan Johnson has done, Brooks, just an easy 7 points, 3 for 4. A.J. Johnson, 1 for 3 from 3. And we mentioned A.J. Johnson hasn't had to do that much offensively because Griffin Dawn decided to start things off hot for the Birds. 6 points on 2 for 3 from the field.
Yeah, but I think you'd think if Carthage wants to continue to put pressure on them, they have to continue to look at one of their best offensive players, obviously A.J. Johnson. But then on the other side for the Cardinals, I mean, we've talked about James Bullock, who has continued to just find different ways to find his bucket. I mean, he's been able to take it, put it on the floor, but also come around screens around the free throw line, and just is really kind of an all-around mid-range type of game, and that's just been what North Central's really relied on all night.
Yeah, we look now at what North Central has done. 14 points for Bullock Jr., 6 for 12 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. It has been all Bullock all day. Davis with 4, 2 for Malloy, 4 for Diaz, and 7 for James. I mean, we know Bullock is going to get his, but James coming in with 7 points, including the 3 for 3 from the free throw line and 3 rebounds, crucial as well.
And we talked about, too, kind of a unheralded player for North Central, and I think what you're seeing from the Cardinals here is they're kind of getting at the end of the season, they're taking some look at some different guys, and that's why you're going to take a shot with sophomore Jaden James, and boy, he's really stepped up tonight. And I think digging further into those rebounding numbers, as you mentioned a while ago, is yes, Carthage is down 4 rebounds in the game, but another thing that is surprising to see for the Firebirds, 0 offensive rebounds so far tonight, and North Central with 4, and I think that is something that the Firebirds and Coach Jurkovic have not seen all season, because it's been them with players like Griffin Dawn, even Riley Brooks getting in there, getting the offensive rebounds, and North Central, credit to them, they've kept the Firebirds off the glass.
Few games happening out of town currently in the CCIW, and we'll get those scores for you momentarily, but again, 40-38 your score. North Central, a very, very slim deficit against the Carthage College Firebirds. And when we come back again after this next timeout, as we mentioned for North Central, Vince Kamick is going to be speaking with sideline reporter Amri Wilder. And again, we appreciate you being with us this Wednesday evening. 50-45 Illinois Wesleyan over Wheaton, 57-34 North Park over Milliken, and 43-41 at half Elmhurst over Augustana. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, continuation of this contest on the Marquee Sports Network. And we're back on the Marquee Sports Network. We will go momentarily to Amri Wilder on the sideline with head coach for the North Central Cardinals, Vince Kamick. And we're excited to be with you on the Marquee Sports Network. So, Amri, we are now going to send it to you on the sideline with Coach Kamick. Amri?
Hey, Coach. So, your team is really young. What is your message to them in the locker room to keep them motivated for the second half?
I think it's just about playing with confidence and belief in each other. You know, it's not going to be perfect, and especially against a really good team on the road, but I thought we did a great job just competing, and you're going to make some mistakes, but you got to be confident, otherwise it'll never come happen.
Absolutely. And majority of your games have been decided by 10 points or less, so what's your message? How do you make sure you win this game tonight?
Yeah, we're right at home here, 2-point game on the road. We've been through it all, and we've had a lot of heartbreak this year, I think as much as I've ever seen in my life. So it's like whatever, just go out there and hoop, and you're going to live with the result either way. The sun will come up tomorrow. So I'm proud of our first half effort. Hopefully it continues here.
Good luck to you. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you for that, Amri. And again, he's got a right approach right now. You got on the season 6-14, 2-6 away from home, 2-9 or 2-9 in the conference play. I don't want to say you're playing with house money, but now's the chance to say, hey, we are against number one team tied for the CCIW standings in their house, and we're only trailing by a bucket.
Yeah, you think, I mean, North Central, as Coach Kamick said, I mean, they've been close in all these games, and you know they got to be thinking about, like, hey, if we can come out with a victory tonight, that means we've got 2 victories against the top 2 teams in the conference. I can't say there are many conferences in America where you would see the last place team getting 2 of their wins against the 2 best teams, so we know North Central can do it. They've already done it, and let's see how the second half brings.
That it will. So we appreciate you once again this Wednesday evening in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Half number 2 underway. Antoine Nesbitt inbounds to A.J. Johnson. Once again for Eric Elger and Amri Wilder, I'm Peter Ferreri. Appreciate you being with us on the CCIW Network tonight, part of the Marquee Sports Network.
That was going to be a huge dunk from Riley Johnson, but there you could see Alejandro Diaz just able to swipe it away. But a play right at a half almost worked to perfection.
3 ball for the phenomenal one. A foot behind the three-point line on the right wing, able to deliver a clutch 3, all 6 points from beyond the 3.
That's exactly what we talked about, just 1 of 3 on the floor. So there, just his 4th shot, but you can see how important he is for this offense, and Carthage is going to want to really pick up the pace here in the second half.
Left-handed layup underneath the basket. Once again, Sviteris. He was able to make his presence known. Again, we talk about the height underneath the basket, whether it's Sviteris, whether it's Marlowe, who's going to make the difference. And A.J. Johnson yet again delivers, and he is now outscored his entire opening half of action in the first 65 seconds.
Yeah, you saw them. He knocks down the 3, and there you try to get out at him. He backdoor cuts, gets to the basket, easy layup.
Step in, wide open for 3, nails it. Sean Malloy, the native Chicagoan. He's got a smooth shot.
I was going to say, and that's something for Carthage, is that you do not want to see them start making those 3s, because that's been the only thing that they've slowed down on. And Griffin Dawn getting involved there. We saw him early in this game there, getting back, doing his thing, getting to the rim.
And that's going to be a jump ball forced by the Firebirds. Coach Jarakovic asking if it was a travel or not, but one of the officials saying he had a full hand on the ball, which forced the jump. Officials today, John Washoe, Lance Gordon, and Mike Martin. Looking for the screen at the top. Nowhere to go is Trey Davis. Bounces it in to Bullock, who has been absolutely lethal. The turnaround, Jay, good. If you open up the dictionary and look for the word feeling it, which I know is 2 words, it's Bullock.
And there again, I mean, it literally feels like every single shot that North Central has hit has kind of looked like that. Besides the three a couple possessions ago, it's been all tough contested twos, and Bullock just showing you that, you know, great offense can beat even better defense.
Well, and again, it's not that if Carthage is giving him layups. I mean, these are tough shots. If you look at the defensive improvement for the Firebirds throughout the season, it's gotten better and better in each and every game once they're finding out where they need to be in their spacing. A miss by North Central from long range. Lead of 2 for Carthage. Looking for the screen, Nesbitt bounces it into Ryan Johnson. He's matched up 1v1, pulls up baseline J, good for the big man. 12 points for Ryan.
Yeah, if you are Justin the Terrace, you just kind of shrug your shoulder and say, fine. You know, was preparing to go to war, see if he was going to, Ryan Johnson's going to try to back into him, but just pops it right in front of him. Nice bucket from Ryan Johnson.
Backing in the defender, up with the left hand. Griffin Dawn bounces it into Johnson, gets blocked, and the foul going to be called on Bullock. Not happy about the whistle, but I will say consistency by the officials tonight, Eric. They are calling close fouls underneath the basket.
Yeah, I think Chris Schlesinger had a really close one that they called against him, and there it did look really close. I mean, I think Bullock would argue he was clean there, but a nice dish there from Griffin Dunn, and there you could see Carthage. They get the miss, and they're going to try to push and get up the court. Because you just think, I mean, a high-powered scoring offense, Carthage is going to want more shots, more offense. North Central, you're seeing they kind of want to limit those possessions and make them each possession more valuable, and that's kind of the recipe for success to upset this Firebird team.
5-point lead for Carthage, 13 points for number 10. Pass deflected away. Look for the in-cut, blocked by Nesbitt. Fights through. Possession, Carthage. What a play by Nesbitt, just using his athleticism.
That's one of the best defensive plays of the night, if not the season, for Antoine Nesbitt. 6'4", going against 6'7", using the vertical there. And not only, how about that, to block the shot, but somehow knock it off the terrace. I mean, a double whammy there. Did everything he could. Ball back in Carthage's hands.
Well, Coach Kamick said it very well. He goes, look, we just need to find a way to close. As Amri mentioned, how there's time and time again, they're in the game. Brooks misses off the front. Ryan Johnson coming away with the rebound. Passes off to his older brother. Brooks, leaner. Can't get it to fall. Dawn comes in. They thought one of the players, believe that being Malloy, made contact, and I hope James Bullock Jr.'s family and friends are watching tonight's game, because 18 smooth points.
I remember I said he's coming off a game. He was 1 of 10 from the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about going from two ends of the spectrum on shooting, but just showing you that, I mean, the sophomore, you can see a lot of talent, a lot of skill, and he is just tough to stop with his length.
3-point lead for the Cardinals. Malloy tries to fade away, misses point blank. Ryan Johnson with the rebound, slowing down the pace a bit. Gets it off to Nesbitt.
And here what you'd want to see Carthage try to do is they found success really moving the basketball side to side, get it into Ryan Johnson, try to get some cutters around him.
Nesbitt gets it off to Johnson, back to Nesbitt. 5 on the shot clock. Can he create his own shot? Ill-advised pass headed deflected away by who else? Bullock. Left side. Shuffle the feet. Davis drives, looks for the kick out, looks for the dish. Dawn finds the lane. North Central resets up. The one touch from the hip. Back iron, no good. Brooks with the rebound.
Good ball movement there from North Central. They really had Carthage on their heels defensively, but again, that's been the only thing you can say about North Central offensively tonight. Just not effective from behind the arc, 1 of 9.
Johnson pulls up for 3, front iron, no good. Griffin Dawn swats it. Johnson off for Dawn. Can he get the baseline three? Rims out. That was close. Can't get it to fall.
Carthage has picked up a few more of those offensive rebounds. As I said, they were shut out in the first half. Really not normal for the type of rebounding team that they are. Just couldn't connect on that second chance opportunity.
Nesbitt again fighting from underneath the hoop. And another foul called against North Central. Antoine Nesbitt dominating in the paint defensively for Carthage. More on that, more on this game as we continue on. 3-point lead for Carthage, the Battle of the Birds and the CCIW Game of the Week on the Marquee Sports Network. (50-47), Carthage over North Central. For Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri alongside Amri Wilder on the sidelines. Antoine Nesbitt, his defensive play, Eric, has been absolutely stellar, especially in this half number 2.
Yeah, he's pulled down some rebounds one-handed. He's got some blocks. Really doing it all on both sides of the floor. And there, Carthage gets it down to one of their hammers, Chris Schlesinger. We've said all season, that boy loves some contact.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. My goodness, his first home game against, or first conference game against Illinois Wesleyan with the shot in regulation as time expired. I mean, you saw there, he's something special. You know, opposing coaches have told both you and I he could start on any team in this conference. Chose to come over to Carthage to be part of the greater good, part of the greater team chemistry. Free throw up and misses off the back iron. And Chris Schlesinger, again, a beautiful job so far with what his role is. And again, we speak about it. He started some games. It's based on the matchups, what Coach Jarakovic needs. Reminder as well, Bullock misses a rare one, soft off the front of the rim. But stick around for the post-game show over on the CCIW network. So if you want to hear us have a conversation with head coach Steve Jarakovic, that'll be over on the CCIWnetwork.com. For the post-game show, hand off to Ryan Johnson, easy play, Schlesinger Johnson. And also we, of course, will interview a representative from the winning team while still live on the Marquee Sports Network. Screen at the top, nowhere to go. Nesbitt and his defense standing tall, whether it's in the paint now, stretched out against Davis, the junior out of South Holland. The pump fake, contact, good. Jaden James, double J, able to get it to fall. 9 points for him. And again, James and Bullock, all offense for North Central.
We've said before, Bullock you kind of expected, but James really making some noise here, as you said, just getting involved recently.
Pass off to Nesbitt. Might have been touched, Eric. Couldn't quite see from our vantage point.
And that's something Marlowe, one of the best in the conference. I believe he got just enough of that Nesbitt shot to send it the wrong way.
A.J. Williams swipes it away. Johnson goes up. Who did it last touch? It last touched Johnson, so he came away with the steal. Tried to part the maroon seas. Not able to do so successfully. Good play. Taking it right back is North Central. Conversation taking place as to who it might have gone off last potentially. Not sure if we're going to have. All right, we are going to go jump ahead and take a timeout. 53-49 when we come back. The second half report on the Marquee Sports Network. Now going to sideline reporter Amri Wilder with her second half report. Amri?
Yeah, so North Central has been getting it done around the paint, looking at their shot chart. Most of their shots have come from around the rim or mid-range shots, and that's been working for them. They're only 1 for 11 from the three. So if they can continue getting the ball inside the paint and get some stops, it'll remain a close ball game. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you for that, Amri. Three-pointer up, no good. And again, you just talk about how close this is, and what Amri said, I think it holds true, is just the three-pointers for North Central. 1 for 11. Can they get 2, 3 more of that and find their way back, even taking a lead for North Central? And again, I think it's those missed threes, which has really been the difference for them today.
Exactly, and they're not able to connect. And looks like the second possession where A.J. Williams just able to, gave up a lot of height there to number 13, Marlowe, but able to knock the ball away, get it back on Carthage's side. And there, it looks like that ball hit the shot clock.
So Steve Jarakovic claiming that from his vantage point, when Brooks went up for the layup, it was swatted straight up into the air to the backboard. Officials saying no, Brooks just lost the handle for a chance now for North Central to make it a one-possession game.
Let's say definitely a odd miss from one of the best shooters in the CCIW.
Turnaround jumper, Marlowe. The pride of St. Charles North brings North Central back to within 2. 10-15 to go in the contest. Carthage Off the left side, A.J. Johnson misses. Ryan Johnson can't come away with the rebound. If you look at the last few contests for both of these teams, North Central again, 3-match losing streak, loss in overtime to Elmhurst, 82-80, lost to Milliken 55-64, and then lost against Illinois Wesleyan 93-64. So that 64 mark proving itself a normal spot. And prior to that, how about this? Beat Carroll in overtime 82-80 and then lost against Elmhurst 82-80, or 82-78. So they have the ability to get into the 80s. Right now, floating, tied, chance to get the lead, not able to do so. And Jabe Haith comes away with it. So North Central now trailing by close to double digits more than once, have found their way back and tied.
Yeah, he said, I just looked it up. Carthage was up 10, 24 to 14. And really, that was the furthest this game's been, because it seems like since then, there has not been a big lead at all. And just when it feels like Carthage gets up 6, you think maybe it can extend the lead. North Central just continues to hang around.
Ryan Johnson, 7 on the shot clock. Hands off for Haith. The pump fake pulls up from the elbow. Side iron, no good. Ryan Johnson throws it off the foot of Jaden James. High IQ play for James just to get it out of play. Griffin Dawn was going to take it and go. Now the inbounds for Johnson as we look at the last few contests for Carthage, 85-70 against North Park. Before that, 80-65 against Illinois Wesleyan. So you could say convincing 15-point victories the last 2 games. And I don't want to say a surprise against Illinois Wesleyan, but a outright victory. It wasn't the overtime contest earlier in the season that they had against Illinois Wesleyan in overtime, 85-81. With that being said, 9:11 left to go. Carthage, this is kind of the point where they start to pull away a bit and cause fits for their opponent, especially at home this season. As Carthage 14-6, including 7-2 at home. Johnson makes the first. Can he make the second?
Carthage been struggling here shooting-wise. 1 of 11 their last few shots. So
Great point.
They've been held scoreless for stretches of time, and they need that right there. Ryan Johnson getting some free throws. And as I said, been a tough time getting buckets to fall here in the second half.
And their defense has really held them together at the conclusion of half number 1 into half number 2. Poked away by Griffin Dawn at the end. Ryan Johnson, your offensive leader, 16 points. Make that 17, after that second made free throw, 6 for 11 from the field. You know, on the flip side, Marlowe 4 for 5 from the field. James 4 for 5 from the field. And North Central 3 out of their last 4 from the field. As A.J. Williams comes away with the possession.
That's kind of been Carthage's best defense. I mean,
Yeah.
They let him wide open from 3. Could not have got a better look. But, again, the only thing North Central has really not done right offensively. It's one of those times it almost feels like you're too open, maybe. And just let that thing fly. And
Haith off the screen. Back iron, no good. Griffin Dawn with the offensive board. Back to Haith. Back to Dawn. Dawn drives. Pump fake. Swatted from behind by Jaden James. And that's kind of the challenge right now is Carthage. Offensive foul. And that will be called against Sean Malloy. Antoine Nesbitt coming in for A.J. Williams. And as we take another look at that foul.
yeah, I think just see that, just the turning of the body. You got to stay squared up there. And as soon as you kind of lean, turn one way or the other.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of acting, maybe a little bit of shoulders going up. Shades of our executive producer, John Voinovich, just, a little bit of contact, it's good. Antoine Nesbitt holds it at the three-point line. Thought Haith was going to set the screen, runs through. Off to Haith now. Been a little bit of cold from the field in his own right. Nesbitt from the free throw line. Timely basket for number 5.
What a tough shot there over the outstretched arms of Marlowe. As we have said, one of the best shot blockers in the conference, and Nesbitt needed every bit of arc to get over the big hand of Marlowe.
Yeah, and that is going to be another foul. That time again, Sean Malloy, timeout on the court. 7.5 is all that's left between Carthage and another CCIW victory. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on Marquee. The greatest band in the land, 5750, to band conductor Jake, student director today. I'm sure Mom Fran out there smiling ear to ear with what he's been able to do. Hailing from Gilbert's, Illinois. Ever been to Gilbert's?
Have not.
No, me neither. Sunny this time of year. It's, you know, it's more south than here. I'm just waiting for the weather to break. I don't know if it will or not, but nonetheless, we have an update that they were checking to see who the foul was on. So thank you to Amri for that update from the sideline, sending it up to us, that they were checking to make sure the foul was called on the right person. And they're going to keep it on Malloy. Quick pass inside. Schlesinger in the lane and Jabe Haith. And that's that rotation Coach Jarakovic has been able to lean on in this, you know, late portion of the contest. Not having to have, he has 3 starters on the bench right now, and he's able to have the Schlesingers, the Haith, just full effort. Give me everything you got from this 8-minute mark down to 5 before we pull the starters back in, and it's like having 8 starters out there.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, Schlesinger wasted no time getting to the rim and getting that bucket, and then on the other end, able to deny the pass, gets it to A.J. Johnson. It's been back-to-back drives to the basket, and a rare miss from A.J. Johnson from the free throw line. A 75% free throw shooter. Really something he's kind of struggled on this season, as we've seen throughout his career, usually in the 80% range, but a little bit different from the free throw line. But still, now that you look, Carthage will be in the bonus the rest of the way. And then Carthage just commit 1 foul so far. So
A.J. Johnson misses them both. I mean, if you look back as last year into this year, what does Carthage do? How do you win? Of course, there's a recipe of a lot of different ingredients, but one of the key ones is to get enough of a lead going into the conclusion of the second half that if you get fouled, you win it at the free throw line. And that's the bread and butter, or I could say the butter recipe. Jabe Haith hustling it down. Nesbitt, can he finish? Blocked from behind. Oh, boy. But again, the hustle of Haith, the hustle of Nesbitt, Another possession for Carthage.
They keep denying us these Nesbitt dunks. I don't know what the other team's trying to do here. We want to see 5 throw it down, but yeah, again, Haith stepping into the passing lane, almost had one of his signature pick sixes, still able to get on the floor and get it to Nesbitt.
Griffin Dawn, drive, the spin, foot inside the free throw line, can't deliver, and oh boy, sorry. I was getting excited. I thought Nesbitt had. They're going to call the foul on Nesbitt. Not sure if we can get a replay on that, but they're saying Nesbitt pushed off to get positioning. And, all right, let's take another look. Thank you, replay crew, for showing us. So, Dawn, the spin, the shot. And I guess they're saying that left arm of Nesbitt.
And I think what Antoine's saying there, I gotta kind of agree, is that it really wasn't his two hands. You know, you'll see that call made when it's two hands in the lower back, and that's how you get that rebound. But Antoine's saying, I had my hands up. I really just tried to jump and get the basketball. So, yeah, just a interesting foul call there, but Carthage going to need to turn it back up defensively here.
From the top, looking for an outlet. Nowhere to go with it is North Central. 6-point deficit. And why don't you just give it to Bullock every single possession at this point? He's single-handedly 21 points leading the charge. He's averaging 11 a game, so 10 over the season average.
And you saw Schlesinger there just kind of grin and smile. I mean, was right there with him, expected him to drive, and Bullock just pulls up, and it's been that kind of night for number 22 for the Cardinals.
Carthage looking to extend it back to a 2-possession game. Haith, Schlesinger for 3. Can he get it as the shot clock expires? He can't. Griffin Dawn tries to volley it around, and a foul going to be called. Dawn going to be called for the foul. His 3rd foul. And I guess you could say luckily enough for Carthage. They're going to say it's on Jabe Haith. So chance for North Central. Now, easier said than done to tie it up with the lack of efficiency from 3 it's been so far this year.
Yeah, you're right. I don't see why you don't really run every offensive possession through Bullock Jr.
For 3, miss, foul, likely to be A.J. Johnson. Season high for Bullock was 23. That was 2 weeks ago on the 24th at Elmhurst. So 23 points his season high. His career high also being 23. So he is 2 away from tying his career high for the sophomore. Pulls up, almost ties it there. A.J. Johnson with the rebound. 4.5 to go in the contest.
If you're Carthage, I think you want to continue to try to attack the basket, see if you can get fouled, get to the free throw line.
Well, it's twofold, Eric. I think you bring up a great point. Not only is it going to one of your most efficient places to score at the free, and that being the free throw line, it's also to continue to get some of these North Central players in foul trouble of their own. Bullock right now, 2 fouls, but if you add a few more, maybe he's a bit reluctant. Ryan Johnson just making a baseline jumper like it's nothing. 17 points for RJ.
Exactly. Ryan Johnson saying, I've seen you with that mid-range game all tonight. I'll raise you a mid-range jumper myself.
Yeah, Bullock went for the 3, couldn't make it. Everything but the 3 is landing. And a travel called. And that will be against number 30, Alejandro Diaz. And we will walk our way into a timeout. 61-56, Battle of the Birds on the Marquee Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. North Central trails 61-56, your CCIW Game of the Week on the Marquee Sports Network. Eric Elger, Amri Wilder, and I'm Peter Ferreri, bringing you home for the final 4 minutes of this contest. If you're North Central, I don't want to play the what-if game, but at some point, do you have in your head, Eric, like you just don't shoot the three with how it's been? I'm asking the question.
I mean, there's that idea of like it's not working.
Yeah.
Let's go somewhere else. But it's also like, hey, maybe we're due for a three-pointer. I mean, there's some of that. I mean, say what you want. North Central, not a great three-point shooting team, but also not a team that shoots this poorly from behind the arc.
Ryan Johnson gets it to Nesbitt. 6 on the shot clock. Dawn to Nesbitt underneath. Lays it up, and he makes it. Antoine Nesbitt delivers underneath the hoop. Antoine with 11 points and absolute, I want to say 11 of the hardest points, Eric, he's earned in his career.
I was going to say it's really been tough sledding for Antoine Nesbitt, but take a look at his box score. He's been able to contribute 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a block. So he's really been making his presence known both sides of the floor, and there picks up a much-needed bucket for the Firebirds, extended to 7.
(56-63), so Carthage extending their lead to one of the biggest of the afternoon. And Carthage, their defense also to mention, stellar for 3.
I remember talking to Coach Jurkovic earlier about some of that three-point defense, and coming into tonight, they're 14th in the nation at limiting three-point shooting. And you can see that displayed right here.
Bullock ties the career high 23 for number 22. Almost a steal by Jaden James. Again, a spark plug off the bench at James. And Coach Steve Jurkovic, want to call a timeout. 63-58, North Central sticking around under 3. We'll be back for the conclusion of this contest. Can North Central find a way to come out on top? 23 for 22. We'll be back on Marquee. (63-58) North Central. You wouldn't think it, Eric, that they only have 2 conference wins this season with how strong they've played. The number 1 team in the CCIW, that of the Carthage College Firebirds. Here for the final 2:45 this Wednesday evening on Marquee. And this is a situation where Carthage it's a two style or two approach game. You want to take as much clock out of it as you can, and you see them doing that now with similar play that they ran at the end of the half. A.J. Johnson, 3, misses, picked up. Who else? Bullock Jr.
Yeah, and there, right there could have been a real huge bucket for the Firebirds, and I gotta say, I was almost counting that one in when I saw it go off, but North Central here can cut it to one possession.
Bullock misses a 3 after Javis misses a 3. I don't know if I've seen an opponent here at Tarble against Carthage that has not been able to get hardly any threes. They are 2 for 16. And a foul going to be called against number 11, Trey Davis. That is the other part of the earlier statement I was going to conclude with. It's not just taking the amount of time off the clock. Can you at least get to the free throw line? Give yourself a chance for some easy points. Even if it's 1 out of 2, you're extending that 2-possession game to 3.
And if there's a foul, you don't want to make that far from the basket. It's to the leading free throw shooter on this team and one of the best free throw shooters in the conference. Riley Brooks coming in to tonight, 66 of 77. That's 86%. So just a tough foul for Trey Davis to take there. I mean, you like the aggressiveness on defense, but as I said, if there's one guy you don't want to send to the line, it's number 11, Riley Brooks.
Yeah. Well, again, Brooks, he 9 points, below his average, but you've had so many different players step up for Carthage, and that's what makes them so good this year. You know, even earlier in the season when I spoke to the staff of Wheaton and the Thunder, they said, look, this is a team where, you know, your bench players could start other places, and so foul going to be called on Ryan Johnson. That is his first foul, but now with a chance, are they going to say it's on the shot? They are. So
let's take a look at this. Because when I first looked at it, I thought it was more of Bullock initiating the contact with his foot. You just couldn't see what was going on. I mean, I haven't seen Ryan Johnson react to a play like that too often.
Yeah, he and his brother are 2 of the more calm players you may ever see. Not the highest of highs, not the lowest of lows, just even keel. So I think that's a very valid point, Eric, that for them to kind of get, either of them to get worked up a little. 24th point for James Bullock Jr., and the Lane Tech grad has now reached his career high.
And I think Ryan Johnson kind of saying, you're like, what do you want me to do with this guy? You know what I mean? I thought I played straight up there. He misses the shot, and then he gets bailed out on a foul, goes to the line. It's just been that kind of night for Bullock. A lot of things going his way, but again, credit to him. He's made things happen for the Cardinals.
Still a 2-possession game, but stolen away. It's a scrum. We're going to have a jump ball possession. Luckily enough for Carthage, going their way, but the pass into Nesbitt, he tried to split the defenders. We'll have a timeout called by Steve Jerichovic and the Firebirds. And let's take a look at this inbound again. Just the trap came, and Nesbitt tried to come through, and that's just a great defensive play by Jaden James.
Yeah, tried to split him, and that's something that Carthage, I mean, North Central's thrown that press at him a lot, but it really hasn't resulted in many turnovers. Because Carthage, just 5 turnovers in the game tonight. So really, anytime North Central has presented that, Carthage has been able to beat it, but luckily enough for Carthage, the possession arrow going their way. So really, a turnover that would have been doesn't hurt them too much here. But you got to say, like, right now, you can see if you get it across the court, you're really getting to run out of some time. I think there's about 1, maybe 2 possessions left where North Central not going to be forced to foul.
Sure.
But you would assume they would play straight up here, see if they can get a stop, and from there on out, it's going to be probably got a foul, see what you can do. Maybe, you know, again, can they knock a 3 down? That would be big here, this part of the game.
19 points, the offensive leader for Carthage. For Ryan Johnson, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. Griffin Dawn, the only one in foul trouble, 4 fouls for Carthage. On the flip side, Malloy 4 fouls for North Central, and nobody with more than 2 after that. Griffin Dawn gets it to Ryan Johnson, gets past half court. 5-point lead. Currently speaking for the Carthage College Firebirds. A little 2-possession game. If they come away with any points, that'll be very hard for North Central to come back, especially with where they've been from long range. Dawn, the fadeaway jumper. Shot clock will expire, and because it did not hit the rim, rebound won't count for Carthage. Now A.J. Williams will come in for Riley Brooks for his defensive prowess. 68 seconds to go in the game. North Central with a chance to cut it to a 1-possession game.
I think Carthage saw the matchup they wanted. Griffin Dawn going against the shorter Trey Davis. Just Dawn not able to come up with anything on that shot.
For 3. Misses off the right rim. Oh, a heads-up play. So A.J. Johnson stopped to block any defender from getting to it. A heads-up play by North Central, dove for it, threw it back in, and it deflected off of Johnson's leg.
Yeah,
that's just backyard basketball.
All right, a great hustle play, exactly what North Central needed. As thought someone even like Swierczek, maybe he was going to knock it down, couldn't.
Dawn with the block. North Central 2 for 19 from 3.
I mean, you say that, you take a look at Carthage here in the second half. They're just 1 of 12 in the three-point line, so they've caught the same thing that North Central's had all game here in the second half.
The screen, the 3, the timeliest of 3s. Alejandro Diaz. That was Amri Wilder's player to watch for North Central, and he has North Central back to within striking distance, trailing by 2. Now, Eric, as we talk through the scenarios here, and we see the replay, just, Bullock, you thought it was going to go to him at the screen, and just the timeliest of 3s. If you're Carthage now, of course, great timeout by Carthage. So point 1, get it past half court. 2, you're not going to foul. You have a 19-second differential. If you're Carthage, you want at least 1 point. And why do I say that? Because then if North Central gets another 3, at least it's tied. You've been more efficient from the free-throw line. Utilize the 30, try to get into the paint, try to get a foul. I personally would not try to settle, even if it's an open 3, I wouldn't try to settle for it unless it's truly shot clock expiring.
Yeah, and I could see, I kind of agree with you there. Is really, obviously you want to take as much off the shot clock, but you don't want to be too, concerned about running the full 30 seconds off where you don't get yourself a good shot. So I think if you're Coach Steve Jurkovic, I think if you get a good look, you're going to take that kind of wherever it is. You obviously want to take as much of that clock off, but we just saw you got Griffin Dawn in a tough spot last possession. He had to put one up at the shot clock expires. They come up empty. So, again, you kind of got to play that balance of how much you can tick off the shot clock, but also still want to have a good possession and try to get a good look.
65-63. Firebirds have possession. Easier said than done. The full court press defense for North Central has been very good this evening. Brooks gets it into Nesbitt. Back to Brooks, back to Nesbitt. Floats it to Brooks. They got to get it past half court, and they do so. Just again, the 19-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. 2-point lead for Carthage, the Battle of the Birds. Ryan Johnson at the top. Gets the screen from AJ. The double team. Baseline. Brooks, 3, misses off the rim. 20 seconds now for North Central to tie or take the lead. Can the defense stand tall for Carthage? Malloy, the spin, bounces it out for Davis. 9, the layup, it's good. We are tied with 8.1 seconds to go. 65-60. It was 65-65. It was 65-60 moments ago. One of the biggest three-pointers of the evening, Alejandro Diaz. A miss baseline for Brooks. And then smart play by Davis, not settling for the 3 for the lead, drove and got the layup.
Exactly, and I got to say, you think Carthage on one of those shots, they really could have put this game away, but both Dawn and Brooks come up empty. And again, we've been talking about the three-point shooting of North Central all night. Carthage just 1 of 13 from behind the arc here in the second half. They can't hit one of those big threes because, like you said, if they hit one of those threes or get a point, I mean, that would have taken the two-point option completely off the board and would have forced North Central to try to shoot a three. There, you saw North Central had whatever look they wanted available to them, and a great job from Trey Davis, able to sneak his way to get that layup.
8.1 seconds. Can Carthage come away with the thriller, or will we go to overtime? Nesbitt gets it past half court. Driving, keeps it himself, lays it up, the follow through, the tip is good! It's good! It's good! The officials sending the players back to the bench for the official review. Ryan Johnson with the tip in as time expired. Will it stand? From our vantage point, it looked good, Eric, but oh boy.
It did look good. It just felt like, how could they keep getting attempts at the basket? But it appeared to me that Ryan Johnson able to just tap that thing into the hoop right as the red light goes up.
Okay. There's the first miss. The second miss. 0.8 of a second. 0.7 of a second. It comes off with 0.6 of a second left. And unless the shot clock was off, this should count.
I think that's pretty clear right there.
Could we have another Sports Center top 10 moment in the CCIW with the Carthage College Firebirds? They're taking another look at it. There is where it's in and the light goes off. And here comes the finale. And it's good. That's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. The Carthage College Firebirds win on a tip-in for the big man, Ryan Johnson, as time expires.
A huge win for the Firebirds in terms of the CCIW conference. As we said, we knew Illinois Wesleyan was putting the pressure on. And heartbreak once again for the North Central Cardinals. Did really everything they could, everything they wanted to do against Carthage tonight, except for come out with the victory in the end. And there's that guy, Ryan Johnson, crashing the hoop and gets the tip in just before the buzzer. What an exciting game here in the CCIW.
67-65, your score. We're going to have an interview now with the player of the game, and that player being Ryan Johnson. Ryan is now standing at the sideline with sideline reporter Amri Wilder. Amri with our player of the game. Take it away.
Yes, so Ryan, really exciting game winner. What were you thinking when you put that ball back in the basket when seconds were winding down?
Well, basically, Coach told us to get downhill and crash glass all we can because we knew we were going to get the last shot. So, I mean, I just knew that Antoine was going to put up a bucket, and if he missed, then I was going to be right there. So, and that's what happened.
That's kind of the theme of the game. You were really hot today, leading your team with 19 points. What do you have to say for your performance tonight?
I mean, just keep working hard. I mean, I struggled with confidence early. I mean, I can say I'm hard myself, so early on this season I struggled a little bit, and I feel like I'm getting my confidence back a little bit, so it feels great. It feels great to have these games and keep contributing to team wins.
I'm sorry, you had 21 points with that last one, so that's my fault. How are you going to bring that energy into the next game?
I mean, one step at a time. We're focusing on tomorrow's practice. I feel like we had a lousy week this week. We weren't really prepared too much. That's not anything on the coaching staff at all, but I feel like as a team we didn't practice hard enough. So we got to come back and ready to go against Milliken.
Congratulations, good job.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Amri, and thank you, Ryan, your CCIW Doctors of Physical Therapy player of the game. And before we sign off, Eric, My goodness, doesn't get much more exciting than that. They just wanted an exciting call to end off on the Marquee Sports Network, right?
Exactly. I mean, it just felt like one of those nights Carthage just could not extend the lead. And as you said, North Central do exactly what they needed in crunch time, got the tying bucket. It just came down to the speed of Nesbitt, really just creating that opportunity. And as Ryan Johnson said, get downhill, see if you can get a tip-in rebound, and they do. Carthage survives this one tonight.
67-65 your final. Ryan Johnson, 21 points, 8 for 13 from the field, 4 for 6 from the free throws, 2 free throw line, 2 blocks. None more important than those final 2 points on the tip-in as time expires. We want to thank you for being with us on the Marquee Sports Network. For executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, as well as our staff and crew, director Morgan, graphics Cameron, Jeremy on replay, Riley, Addison, Joe, and Addison on camera. This program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College, copyright 2026. Once again, for Eric Elger, for Amri Wilder on the sideline, I'm Peter Ferreri. Ryan Johnson, a memorable game and an even better finish. Carthage over North Central, 67-65. Have a good night, everybody, and thank you for being with us on the Marquee Sports Network. Smiles, relief, all the emotions balled into one. We're live on the postgame show on the CCIW network. Eric Elger, Peter Ferreri, and winning head coach Steve Jarakovic. Coach, my heart was pounding a little bit. Talk me through that final sequence.
We told Antoine, you got one job, put this ball up on the rim, and the rest are going to follow. So we wanted him to get downhill and told everybody else, attack the glass, had 2 opportunities at it. Good thing one of them went in, so we don't have to play extra basketball.
And you take a look at tonight, I mean, your defense did the same thing it's done all season. One of the best three-point shooting defenses in the country. There you had the same success holding North Central to really a tough night from behind the arc. It just came into those mid-range games that it was tough for North Central to stop. What did you see that kind of presented the Cardinals a tough matchup in that mid-range game?
They got good players, and they put them in good spots. And our job all year has been to give up contested twos, contested mid-range shots, and you play the percentages right, 3 better than 2 in that. We run people off the three-point line very well, but give their guys credit. They stepped up and hit some shots, and they got a lot of talented pieces in there too. And, you know, I think they've been in this situation a lot this year. They've been in so many close games, one-possession games, overtime games, and they're a tough physical group, and they're a tough team to play against. And they're not the biggest team you'll see all year, but I think they're leading the conference in offensive rebounds. They put their head down. They go to the glass. They're very tough on both ends. And, you know, to be honest, I thought we did enough to win today. Obviously proud of our guys for that. We got to come back ready to work tomorrow, though, and I got to do a better job. I thought, you know, Vince did a heck of a job today putting his people in the right spots.
And offensively, it looked like that first half felt more of like a Carthage speed, 40-38. And then just becomes a slugfest, 27-27 in the second half. What does it say about your team is that you can play kind of whatever style they throw at you? I mean, you played North Park last game, really an up-and-down type of team. You guys can spread it out, put up 85 points, but then on the same side, hey, if it gets a little lower scoring game, you still got the guys to make that happen too.
I think it does come down to both sides, and I think defensively we've been special all year. I think we're top 15 in the country in defensive rebounds. We're top 15, 20 in the country in three-point field goal percentage defense, stuff that we key on. But they came out with a little bit better effort today, I thought. I don't think we got over ball screens as well as we normally do today. We had a few miscommunication errors that got them to good looks, but yeah, it's on us. We can play different styles. We'd like to get up and down a little bit more. Obviously, I think we shot 1 of 13 from 3 in the second half, had some really good looks to try to extend, and those are the ones you need. And when you want it to be a little bit more comfortable, obviously up 6 with an open 3 and a 40% shooter, you want that to get to 9, not have them come back and cut it to 3 or 4.
It's senior day this Saturday, Coach. Let's start there, you know, not to get overly emotional, but the significant every year you get to that point, you know it's the home stretch, but these seniors in particular will expound more, of course, this weekend, but how they've led this team, it's been pretty special.
It's hard not to get emotional about this group and what they've done and what they've meant to this program for the last 4, in some cases 5 years, in Antoine and AJ's case. And, you know, these are guys that have been with me just about my entire coaching career. It's my first real recruiting class at that point with AJ Johnson after the COVID year too, and all the guys that have been with us this entire time. It's this is a special group. This is the most fun team that I've had the privilege to be a part of. They come to work every single day. They're the most low-maintenance group of men you can have, and it's going to be a tough one on Saturday. Yeah. It really will be. And you know, you're getting to the stretch run, like you mentioned, 4 games left, and you know every game is its 1-game season right now. But I know we're going to be locked in, ready to go, but after the game, I think you'll have a few tears being shed after the game.
Yeah, well, let's go back to X's and O's really quickly. Milliken, always a tough team. They took North Central. They were trailing by double digits, found a way to beat North Central at the end, and we saw today how North Central continually is. Talk to me through the Milliken matchup itself.
Similar in some aspects to North Central. They're big, they're physical, they're tough, they run what they want to run, and they make you catch up to their style. And we had no answer for Lane Tolman down in Decatur. He had 35 points and was the best player on the floor, not even close. Physically, they took it to us a little bit, and we got to respond. And this is the one team that you wanted for the last few weeks that we feel like we didn't execute down the stretch like we did today and found out on the right side. But we got to be ready to go. They got some really good players. I think they have one of the best backcourt duos that we've seen all year in Lane Tolman and Strouder, who are both just absolute scoring playmakers that we got to be ready for.
Sounds great. Coach, get a little bit of rest if you can. We'll see you back here on Saturday.
Thank
Congratulations.
You guys for everything. Thank you.
Absolutely. Head coach Steve Jerichovic, of course, always gets a little emotional talking about your seniors. And again, I think it bears mentioning, not to discredit what has happened in the past, but now it's his team. You know what I mean? As he mentioned. And so the fact to give them their accolades this weekend, and hopefully they come away with a victory against Milliken. But let's put a bow on this one, 67-65 against North Central. Tip in at the buzzer for the big man, Ryan Johnson. Let's look through the final stats one more time before we close up shop this Wednesday evening in Kenosha. Again, a hard-fought battle for both teams, but the game stats once again presented by the Pullman Auto Stores. It's the three-pointers. North Central got the timeliest of ones there in the second. Carthage couldn't quite find them. Out-rebounded by North Central. And turnovers really had an impact as well. At the end.
An interesting game where, forget, North Central actually had the first lead of the game where they're up 2-0.
Yeah.
And then it was all Carthage the rest of the game. But as you saw, really Carthage never able to extend that lead. And credit to North Central. They really did almost everything they could to win this game. Just couldn't get that last possession to get that stop and try to push it into overtime. But I mean, credit to Carthage is that, again, they did what they had to do down the stretch. I mean, really at this time of the year, it's not about how you win it.
Yeah.
It's just about winning the game, and that's what they did tonight.
Indeed it was. So let's take a look now at the upcoming schedule for the CCIW network. This Saturday, the doubleheader. Women's hoops first versus Milliken, 2 o'clock, 4:15 men's hoops versus Milliken. Next Friday the 13th, CCIW diving championships at 6 o'clock. And then one of my favorite non-con matchups, the Banana Slugs of UC Santa Cruz are in Kenosha to take on the men's volleyball program, looking to add a third banner to the rafters this season. They have looked excellent. And then Saturday, CCIW Diving Championships, 11:30. Men's lacrosse versus Lake Forest. We are already in lacrosse season. And then the CCIW Men's Wrestling Championships. And that all is on the CCIW network. We want to thank you for being with us this Wednesday evening in Kenosha. For executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, and once again, Morgan, the director, Cameron on graphics, Jeremy on replay, Addison, Joe, Addison, and Riley on camera. This program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College, copyright 2026. Battle of the Birds favors Carthage 67-65. For sideline reporter Amri Wilder, Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. Have a good night, everybody.